Listen to this. Exactly nothing. This is Paradise Bay, Antarctica, one of the most surreal, stunning, beautiful, quiet, amazing places on Earth. The silence is so heavy, it almost has weight, broken only by the crack of ice or the call of a bird. Standing here, it feels like the world has hit pause. Literally, like Earth took a big, deep breath and just held it.
I wish you could hear how incredibly quiet and serene it is out here.
But wait, how did we even get here? After leaving Buenos Aires, our ship kept sailing south. And by south, I mean Antarctica. Like Antarctica. What in the actual is going on here? Like, the thought of us, all of us, being in Antarctica together is mind-blowing. Let me put this into perspective. There are 8.25 billion people on the planet. Since 1960, when tourism here even became possible, only about 1 million people have visited Antarctica. So do the math. That means that 0.012% of the entire world has ever seen what we're about to see today. It is absolutely unreal. So yeah, we did it. We crossed the Drake and sailed in to the White Continent. And now I'll do my best to take you with me, because this just isn't another stop on the cruise. This is another place entirely.
So come on already, let's go.
Hi everyone, I'm Leslie. And if you're new here, you need to know that travel is my jam. I book a trip when I'm on a trip. It runs through my veins. It is kind of my thing. And if Antarctica is your thing, you're in the right place. This describes the journey we're about to take perfectly. Andrew Denton, a television producer, once said, if Antarctica were music, it would be Mozart. If it were art, it would be Michelangelo. Literature, it would be Shakespeare. And yet it's something even greater. The only place on Earth that is still as it should be. May we never tame it. Our first stop was supposed to be the Falkland Islands, and we were so excited to see the Falklands, but weather had other plans. Our captain decided to do a take 2 on the Falklands on the way back in hopes of making the infamous Drake Passage a little smoother for us. So does our Drake Passage going in and going out turn out to be the Drake Shake or the Drake Lake? Well, let's go see. With an unexpected sea day, we toured the Serenade of the Seas Galley Kitchen, which I'm a huge foodie. This was right up my alley and I loved it.
So let's have a look at what we are going to face.
We had a special meeting with the captain to set expectations as to what lay ahead for us. And then it began. Antarctica. Our plans here are to sail through Dahlem Bay, Paradise Bay, see Clarence Island, and Elephant Island. As we sailed through these legendary waters, Antarctica's raw statistics started to hit home. Antarctica is on the record for the lowest temperature ever recorded on Earth. It was negative 128.6 at the Vostok Station in 1983. Let's just take a second here to let that soak in. Negative 128.6. But also, it's the driest desert, even drier than the Sahara, as many parts of the interior get less than 2 inches of precipitation a year. All while being the windiest. The katabatic winds here, the cold, dense air rushing downhill, can howl at hurricane forces. The places like Commonwealth Bay sustain winds often that exceed 150 miles an hour. Antarctica holds 90% of the world's ice and 70% of the Earth's fresh water in its glaciers and ice sheets. To put that into perspective, if all the ice melted here, sea levels worldwide would rise by over 200 feet, enough to redraw every coastline on Earth. The winds here can reach over 200 miles an hour. These extreme winds aren't just strong, they shape the entire landscape, scouring rocks clean and redistributing snow that parts of the continent remain almost bare. For explorers and scientists, those winds are often more dangerous than the cold itself, making travel and survival a test of endurance. And yet, emperor penguins are the only animals to breed during the winter here. The blue whales love and thrive on the krill-rich waters here, making them the largest animal to ever live on Earth. Orcas hunt while Weddell seals dive beneath the water for up to 80 minutes at a time, and dolphins thrive here, all against the odds. It's all just so much to get your head around. The statistics, the sights, the weather, it's just all magical. Here's one of the first giants we encountered. We named this one the Arches Iceberg. The captain circled it so we could view it from every side.
Blue there. Look at the and the water turns totally blue underneath.
I have fully lived. This is really, really, really extraordinary. And it started snowing. So surreal. Literally a couple weeks ago, we were on Caribbean islands in shorts and tank tops. When I think of cruising, I never think of snow. And this is Antarctic snow. It's just so cool.
There he is.
Up there.
I get it.
Now let's talk about glaciers versus icebergs. Glaciers are ice factories. Icebergs are like the products. Glaciers are massive rivers of ice that form over thousands of years on land from compacted snow. When chunks of these glaciers break off into the sea, they become icebergs. So every iceberg you see is basically a piece of a glacier that went for a swim. This swimming limits their life though. So think glaciers are the ancient storytellers and icebergs are just, I don't know, like temporary guests. Glaciers actually flow downhill like snow rivers because of their own immense weight, sometimes moving several feet per day. Icebergs, once afloat, drift with winds and ocean currents. That's how one famously found its way into the Titanic's path. So here's a fun fact. You heard the quote, tip of the iceberg? It's true. About 90% of icebergs' mass sits below the waterline. Glaciers, however, are anchored to land, so you see almost all of them above ground. Fun fact number 2, glaciers often look white because of the trapped air bubbles, but when compacted tightly, they appear blue. That's pure, dense ice. Icebergs, being freshly calved, sometimes looks intensely blue and even striped. This is the perfectly named Paradise Bay. And I'm going to warn you, you're going to want to sit down for this. It is mind-blowing.
I wish you could hear how incredibly quiet and serene it is out here. Oh my God, that is unbelievably beautiful. Oh my God.
This is the absolute epitome of perfection. A sheer silence that is palpable, eerie almost. So untouched, the reflections, the peaceful, idyllic, calm, just stunningly beautiful. The bay actually got its name from whalers in the early 20th century who found its calm waters and scenic surroundings a stark contrast to the more brutal ocean conditions. However, still a precious moment for us as another highly unpredictable area here in Antarctica, as there's been reports of winds suddenly shooting past 80 knots, forcing restrictions or evacuations from the area in a blink. And we sat out here for hours. It was just so much to take in and so overwhelming, so beautiful. The reflection of if you haven't been to Antarctica and you have an opportunity to go to Antarctica, you want to absolutely go. It is otherworldly. The land of extremes is alive here.
Look, yeah, the heads are up now.
They are. Very cool.
There you go, all three.
There's all three of them. Just be careful.
We saw so many of the Antarctic residents I told you about earlier: whales, dolphins, penguins, birds.
Oh, his head's up, look at that.
Did it? Oh,
His head way up.
don't get your.
Our captain would announce the sightings if he saw them, and we would run from one side of the ship to the other side of the ship, to the front, to the helipad.
A group of whales coming up on the starboard side. Quite lively evening. Thank you.
We were like little kids running all over to see what very few eyes on the planet have ever seen.
Oh, I wish you could see this. I really wish you could see this and be here right now. It's really cold, but it is unbelievably beautiful.
Another reason I say always book a balcony cabin on a cruise ship. We took a pause here, just had a gratitude moment, as I call it, to just take it all in. We're in Antarctica. This is just insane. It's definitely time to celebrate. One of my favorite photos ever. This is the face of seeing the world in ways we never imagined. Captain even deployed a crew to fetch a massive chunk of Antarctic ice and bring it back on board for us to see. Imagine ice thousands of years old pulled straight from the most remote place on Earth. One of our final Antarctic spots was Elephant Island. This is where Ernest Shackleton's crew of the Endurance was stranded for over 4 months in 1916 waiting for rescue. The name Elephant Island comes from sightings of the elephant seals and the island's elephant-like shape. This moment in history remains as one of the greatest survival stories in history. Stark, rugged, and impossible not to feel the history here. And this is Clarence Island. It's a 1950-meter high at its peak and is home to the Fur Seal Point, which supports a large breeding colony of over 57,000 chin-strap penguin pairs. It also supports nesting of southern fumars. What's a fumar? I'm glad you asked. It's this guy. Name means foul gull because they defend themselves by spitting a foul-smelling oily substance at their predators. They look superficially like gulls, gray and white, and kind of the same type of body and hooked beak, but they're not gulls at all. They're pelagic seabirds, meaning they spend almost their entire lives at sea, only coming to land to breed. During Shackleton's endurance expedition, his party considered landing here on Clarence Island after their ship was lost, but ended up going to Elephant Island instead. Antarctica wasn't just a place we visited, it was one we experienced. We lived it. It was just like we soaked up every single inch of it and every single second. It's a reminder of how small we are, how fragile the world is, how lucky we were to be here among 0.012% of humanity who can say, we saw Antarctica. And here's the real raw truth of it. Once you see Antarctica, everywhere, like everywhere, is going to feel small. Amazing, beautiful, extraordinary places on the planet. And if you know me, you know that's what makes my heart beat. But everything will feel small compared to Antarctica. It is that incredible. So what do you think? Have you been to Antarctica? I would love to hear your Antarctica story. So be sure to put it in the comments. If you haven't been there, is it on your bucket list? Share that with me because I want to champion you to get you there. Oh, it was just so incredible. Before we officially leave Antarctica, we're less than 50 miles from A23A, the world's largest iceberg. Our captain tells us we're going to head that way and see if we can see it before we turn back into the Drake Passage. So do we see A23A, the world's largest iceberg? Do we get back to the Falkland Islands on take 2? How does take 2 of the Drake Passage go? All of that is a great segue to remind you to subscribe because you're going to want to see that as we head towards Ushuaia, the tip of the world in Argentina. And we have our second overnight there, so it's going to be so super cool. So until then, cheers from the bottom of the world in incredible Antarctica. Bye for now.